Have you guys ever wondered how Emmy Martinez did this?
Saved by Martinez!
Now, if you don't know who Emmy Martinez is, he's the guy I just showed, and he was the Argentinian goalie for the World Cup in 2022. He did incredible and saved 3 out of 5 PKs in the shootout. Now, that is extremely good looking at the statistics of PKs. But today I will be going into the history of soccer, the and how you do a penalty shootout, and also how you save a PK and the techniques goalie uses. So let's dive into the history part. Wow, the roots of soccer has gone back many centuries in many different countries, like China and Mesoamerica. Modern soccer, as we know it, has been created in England in the 19th century. The Football Association was created in 1863 by a guy named Ebenezer Morley. But penalty kicks were not officially added in this edition of the game because they were added into the rules of soccer 28 years later in 1891. Now going into the rules of a PK shootout is a PK is usually awarded to the opposing team when there is a penalty in the penalty restriction area, which is the 18-yard box. And the penalties usually are something like this.
A handball in the box or a tackle in the box.
Saving a PK is hard enough because according to the analysis, in the 2024 season of the Premier League, there were 106 shots taken last year, and only 8 out of the 106 PKs were saved. So that's only 7%.
Now, before we can look at the techniques goalies use to save a PK, we should first look at the options the PK taker has to shoot from. Like they can take a nice hard shot to the bottom corner of either side of the net. Or the shooter can shoot high into either side of the net. Another shot the PK taker can take is something called a panenka, where it's just a small chip down the middle of the net where it relies on the goalie prematurely making a dive, which in order to save a PK, the keeper has to.
Are you ready? Yep, we're rolling. Nope.
Trust me, when I say no keeper wants to get scored on like that, I mean it. But let's now jump into the techniques goalies use to save PKs. There are a few techniques goalies can use to try to save a PK, like a reactionary attack where they wait for the ball to be kicked and try to dive after it, or where you just plain old guess, pick a side and hope for the best. But what I like to do is do an educated guess where I watch the attacker and look at their hips, and whatever their hips are facing, I'll dive to that side. The steps in saving a PK aren't that difficult. They just take repetition to really get down. So what you have to do is you have to get low, arms slightly outside your body, get on the balls of your feet, and when you make a decision on what side the shooter is going to shoot, you take a step out in front of the line, you get low, drive off of your back foot, and then you extend both hands to get ready to adjust to make the save. And then when you do, it should look something like this. There are some psychological things you can do as a keeper to try to throw the shooter off his game. According to the New York Times, Emmy Martinez in the 2022 World Cup said to the French striker, "I'm sorry, brother, but I'm going to eat you alive," to try to throw him off his game. In my vlog, I have covered the brief history of soccer, how and when a PK is committed, and the techniques goalies use to save them. If you want to become a Golden Glove winner like Emi Martinez, you should take notes and put into practice what I have said in my vlog.